first Democrats saying, "Hey, though, we need a secure border. It's a significant issue." And if I thought there was any kinds of issues, and I've been very vigilant throughout, I've been actively involved in those kinds of things, and I've never witnessed those kinds of a thing.
But what do you mean by issues? Like, what kind of issues you're talking about? You're talking about people letting people in order to get votes?
Well, it's not. There's not that level kinds. I don't think there's that level kinds of organization.
But there is an organization that's moving these people to swing states. There's a significant number of these people that are illegal immigrants that have made their way to swing states. And then there's been calls for amnesty. There's been calls for allowing these people to have a pathway to citizenship and allow them to vote. The fear that a lot of people have is that this is a coordinated effort to take these people that you're allowing to come into the country, then you're providing them with all sorts of services like food stamps and housing and setting them up, then providing a pathway to amnesty, and then you would have voters that would be significantly voting towards the Democrats because they're the people that enabled them to come into the country in the first place and provided them with those services. This is a big fear that people have, and that you're rigging this system and that this will turn all these states into essentially locked blue like California is.
Well, it's immigration is always going to be a tough issue in our nation. I had as a professor in grad school, Alan Simpson, and he was a United States senator. He was Wyoming, and he was actually a pro-choice Republican. I mean, how rare that would be. Well, it doesn't exist now. And he said, you are never going to have any meaningful immigration kinds of legislation. He's like, because both sides, that's useful for them, and it's going to be back and forth. And he said that 25 years ago.
Useful meaning the debate, having it always a political
it's
talking
useful
point.
For one side or the other. It's useful. And
look at how he's deflecting. No one asked about your old teacher that was a senator. He asked about here and now. Stop deflecting. He's cooking the man.
There were never going to be, and he said that in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
And I voted for the border deal, and that went down. And that's, I mean, he said that 25 years ago, and that was absolutely true now. That they had an opportunity to do a comprehensive border, bipartisan, and that went down because Trump. He declared that's a bad deal after it was negotiated with the other side.
But didn't that deal also involve amnesty, and didn't that deal also involve a significant number of illegal aliens being allowed into the country every year? I think it was 2 million people. So it was still the same sort of situation, and their fear is exactly what I talked about, that these people will be moved to swing states, and that will be used to essentially rig those states and turn them blue forever.
Well, I'm not really sure if that's what's in play. I think it's really it's important that we have to have an honest conversation.
But doesn't that seem logical, though? If you have a significant number of people that are being moved into swing states that have come across the border illegally, and then you've provided them with all these services, you provided them with food stamps, EBT, you've provided them with housing. You could, if you gave those people amnesty and allowed those people to vote, and it was very organized. You're talking about 75,000 votes over a few counties that switched everything over to the Republicans. You could see how you import 10 million people over the course of 4 years illegally, and then move a significant number of them to swing states, and then provide them with all these services, and then give them a path to citizenship. You could essentially rig those states.
Undeniably, immigration is changing our nation. I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time in Texas, but it's very clear that immigration has remade Texas, and I think it's for a good.
So you see that, right? You see that Joe Rogan just tactically, masterfully, and classfully convinced this Democrat, tricked this Democrat, forced this Democrat, however you want to label it, but make sure you get it out there. He just has this man, John Fetterman, to convince that Democrats not only are leading to a mass amount of immigration, but it's beneficial for the party. Even John Fetterman, he doesn't have it all there. He ends it by saying, well, it's changed Texas, and that's a good thing. John Fetterman, it's a good thing for who's speaking, for Democrats. You understand that he's admitting that migration itself is making Texas look similar to a swing state. Joe Rogan found a way to make this man bury himself alive with his own words. And this is the same reason why we don't see Kamala Harris going on the Joe Rogan experience. She's not ready for that experience. She's not ready for someone to simply ask them to validate what makes them feel the way they feel. Why do they think the way they think? Why do they do the things they do? Democrats, what we're starting to see, and I'm not talking about the regular Democrats, not those that's watching. I'm talking about, I want to say Democrat elites, where the money and everything is all aligned. They have a hard time admitting the truth. They have a hard time admitting what's really going on. That's why they typically make pretty bad debaters, and they don't debate that much. If you're a Democrat watching, I'm sure you can see that conservatives, they debate a lot more than Democrats do. That's just because the talking points that's being sold aren't really talking points that's easy to be told. And that's why they spend a lot of money for it. So that's like me going to Jamaica, right? I'd be a Jamaican immigrant. And let's say the Jamaican government, whoever's in charge, who's ever the dominant government in Jamaica, they offered me $60,000 to say I endorse a candidate that's running. $60,000 just for me to endorse. Tell me to go down there and vote, and I can come back to my country after I've made all my benefits. So I can get $60,000 from another country and bring it back to my country and help my country out with it. I'm probably going to take the $60,000, and we're seeing that's what's happening. And this is hypotheticals, but this is what's happening in America. People are taking the money, they're not doing any research, and they're making their vote. Now, this is a strong problem, because if you migrate a mass majority of people to a country without teaching them the laws, without teaching them the culture, without teaching them the history, they can and will make bad decisions based on the nature of that country. What I'm saying is this: if you're not from America, you won't understand the truths about America. Okay, if I'm a migrant, I can come in America and I can know, okay, America had slavery, etc. And if I come into America and I see a Democrat Party saying we're against racism, and we're against the Republicans who are Nazis, who are white supremacists, etc., me thinking I'm doing the right thing, I'm going to vote Democrat, not knowing that I'm voting for the party that started the KKK, the party that fought for slavery, the party that refused to allow a black congressman and a black senator until Republicans did it first. I wouldn't know that. I would only believe the narratives that's set today. And they're bringing people in, giving them a new history to follow, and telling them to fight for justice. We care about you. Come into our country. See, I'm not someone that is attacking the people that's coming in, because I forgive them for they don't know what they're doing. I'm attacking those that's allowing them in with the wrong intentions. You cannot come into a country without learning it first. I mean, you can, but you can't make a logical decision on what's best for that nation until you learn that nation. Truthfully, I mean, you can have a migrant come in to this country, right? I'm just giving hypotheticals. They know nothing about our country history, right? And the Bidens just bring them in. Don't know anything about American history, just what they're told. What happens when the migrants come in, and let's just say it's in their tradition of their country to wear blackface? They wouldn't know if they get educated right before they come in America what you can and can't do like we have to in other countries. Listen, before we go to other countries, we're highly advised to get educated on a few things about that country before we get ourselves locked up or executed. Why can't the same be said here about your vote? So he has exposed it. Shout out to Joe Rogan. Shout out to John Fetterman for even coming on and speaking. But we need more conversation, and we need more Democrats to be front and center so they can expose their rhetoric and can expose their thinking. Because if we look very deep into it, the whole replacement this, replacement that, it isn't that much of a stretch. It isn't that much of a stretch when you think about how people are being paid and allocated resources and the ability to vote in a nation they don't even know. I just don't think I would feel comfortable if I was a Chinese man having a black dude with dreads coming to China, getting a lot of money, being sent to the best Chinese hotel that they could find, and then being told that this black man with dreads who doesn't know anything about China, the only thing he knows about China is the Chinese food in America, which isn't even real Chinese food. So I already got a false reality of what China is and Chinese food, their culture, etc. I got a false reality of that. I would be going to that country, giving all the benefits, and still being able to decide how these people live without knowing anything about them. I just got a perception of what China is. So how could I know what's best for China my third, fifth month, sixth month, even first year in China? I wouldn't know. And that's our problem. It's logic. Remove the political narratives, remove the fast food politics, and apply some logic to the conversations, and watch how stupid some of the stuff that we're going through actually sounds. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, you know what I'm about to say. Click the notification bell. Shout out to the notification team. You guys got my average likes and comments going up, so I gotta shout you out. We're growing. The notification army is growing. Much love to you. I'm gonna say it again. Much love to the subscribers and notification squad, because it's growing beyond anything I could expect it. See you guys on the next video. You know I'm doing 2 a minimum a day, so we're gonna do this again. Thank you. Speak to you all soon. Peace. Or however you throw the peace sign up. I don't know.